Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Pratik Ranjan from IIM Lucknow. And just a day prior to discuss some certain very basic that you need to remember on the final.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Pratik Ranjan from IIM Lucknow.
Yeah. There are certain basic essential things that I need to tell you before the final time. Do not expect a strategy. I'm not going to tell you a strategy, or I'm not asking you to change your strategy on the final day. All I'm going to ask you to do is a certain checklist, is a certain set of essential things that you need to do in the last moment. While we wait for the other people to join, let me first talk of the real purpose of CAT, which is where the trap lies. Any person who sets the paper identifies and understands what kind of people are required in an IIM. And which is why CAT is not merely just a test of your, say, quantitative skills or verbal ability or just say your logic. It is also a test of how you tackle questions in the stipulated time given to you. Say if you have a particular section, it will not essentially test how many formulae you know. It will also test whether or not you were able to figure out what are the difficult questions, or whether or not you were able to pluck the low-hanging fruits. And if you have been able to do that, you were bang on. Therefore, elimination, performing under stress and pressure is what will also be checked and evaluated while you're taking this examination. Now, coming to the things that you need to carry. Very essentially, your ID card which is your ID proof, and your admit card is something that you definitely need to carry. In terms of what you do not need to carry, there are so many things. Anything that you feel that deems not to be carried should not be. So something like, say, a pen, or something like, say, a chewing gum or jacket or jewelry or mehendi are not supposed to be carried. CAT has sent out a message to every candidate personally on their registered mobile number. Please open and read that message. Essentially, and most importantly, this year, CAT does not allow candidates to use keyboards. I'll keep reiterating this. Please do not touch the keyboard at any point while taking the examination. It would directly and instantly lead to locking of your screen, which means your exam would be suspended. Therefore, refrain from using the keyboard. There will be a virtual keyboard. Make use of that. Do not use the keyboard. Hi, Payal, I'll take your question. Let me just complete the strategy quickly and then come back to Payal's question and other questions that are popping up. Okay, so something like a shoe or jewelry is also not allowed. So personally, my suggestion is do not wear any jewelry for the examination, or don't wear shoes. Keep your feet free. Carry a set of slippers or something like that, but do not wear shoes. In terms of general instructions, number one, sleep well. If you're planning to, go back and revise your formulae or difficult questions or your mock MCATs, by now, please don't do it. Go take some proper rest, have some peace of mind, eat healthy, and take good rest tonight. Because tomorrow is a very, very important day. I can't overemphasize. All of us have been through these jitters. All of us have been through this journey, and which is why we are here. And essentially, therefore, please sleep well. That is number one. Number two, reach your examination center well in advance. So something like 1 hour of buffer is something that you definitely need to maintain. I know friends personally who have missed out or have reached examination center a little late and were not allowed. I would not want you to be in such a situation. Keep at least 1 hour buffer in terms of reaching the examination center. So if it takes you 2 hours to reach the hall, leave at least 3 hours before the scheduled time. Apart from this, stick to your core strategy. By now, you have taken a lot of MCATs, a lot of mock CATs, and you have developed a strategy that you're comfortable with. When I say stick to your strategy, I don't mean that you need to be rigid. Stick to your core strategy. Your core strategy could be skimming the paper before you start, or your core strategy could be going in rounds, round 1, 2, and 3, which is round 1 being questions that you can easily solve, questions that you know the answer of. Round 2 will be questions that you're not very sure about, and therefore you'll come back, spend some time, get them right. And round 3 will be questions that you're not very certain about, which you think will take a lot of time. Therefore, go in rounds in at least something like a quantitative ability. But if you have a strategy in terms of attempting a certain set of questions first, or in terms of attempting a certain number of questions, do not stick to any such strategy. While you will keep your core strategy to be the same, your peripheral strategy in terms of how many questions you attempt, how much time you spend in a question, will all be decided by the difficulty level of the paper. Having said that, if the paper is difficult, you might end up attempting a little lesser number of questions, which is perfectly fine. It shouldn't trigger you to go attempt wildly guessing questions, or it shouldn't trigger you to, kind of make some guesses that you would not have made otherwise. Therefore, while you see that the paper is difficult, be at peace and understand that it's difficult for the entire country. And keep your core strategy of going in rounds or reading questions before attempting them to be the same, but be flexible with how many questions you attempt, or be flexible with your peripheral strategy is what I would say. So if you find that in verbal ability you have RCs to be very, very, very difficult, and VA turns out to be easier, on the easier side, although your core strategy, your peripheral strategy might have been to attempt RCs first, you might have to maybe bring about a change in that. Therefore, your core strategy will definitely remain to be the same, but also remember that you have to learn to be flexible at the same time in terms of how many number of questions you attempt, which questions you attempt first, which ones do you attempt at the end. Having said that, do not find yourself stuck to any question purely for the basis of satisfying your ego. If you feel that a certain question from, say, a topic as easy as ratio and proportion has popped up, and you're not comfortable solving it, or it's taking a lot of time, you've already spent, say, 2.5, 3 minutes on solving it, and you've not reached the answer, please stop there. Okay. Having said that, in terms of coming back to question, keep your rough work very neat. While you're attempting any question, make sure that you number it and then do the rough work, and do it neatly, so that at any point, if you need to come back to it, revisit it, resolve it, you will be able to resume from where you left. Therefore, keep your rough work neat. I cannot overemphasize this. Not many of us do it, but it's of paramount importance. So keeping your rough work neat is very, very, very important. Okay. Keep a constant eye on the clock. Yes, do not miss out on the timer. Okay, while your rough work is neat, while you're attempting questions, while you're doing all of these things, do not forget that you have to see the entire paper. You can't keep yourself stuck to one set of questions. You can't, lose track of time. Therefore, keep track of time at every point in time. Okay. Do not look around. While you're taking the examination, don't look at the screen of your neighbors. Do not look around in terms of finding out what the other person is doing, how many questions has he attempted. All of this will only rampage you. You have no clue whether or not your neighbor is making random guesses, or whether he's, only hitting the arrow in the thin air. Okay, I can see a lot of questions here. Okay. Give me a couple of minutes. I'll just start taking your questions in another 2 or 3 minutes. Okay. So what I was talking about was, do not compare. Don't look around. Don't look around. Do not look at how many questions your neighbors has done. It might so happen that this person is randomly guessing and therefore has done more questions. So please do not look around and compare. It will only put you in a bad state of mind. Very, very, very importantly, when you're in the center, even if you find someone who you are very acquainted with, your friends, people from your school, people from your workplace, do not go and talk to them before the examination. Any unpleasant or, say, pleasant conversation, maybe an ex, strikes a pleasant conversation, and it would set you in a very different state of mind. And therefore, while you reach the examination center, find a small area for yourself, stand there quietly without talking to people or looking around. And all that you need to do when you're there is have a quick check of your documents, go look at your CAT registration number, find out which seat has been allocated to you. Do not talk to people, however you might be pressed to do so. Maybe exchange a smile. That can be done, not at the cost of being rude, but do not go and start a conversation with people right before the examination. It might change your mood. And exactly as already pointed out in so many articles written by us, that your mood, your day, and everything else also comes together to define your experience of CAT together. Okay. Keep note of the silly mistakes that you've been doing in your mock CAT examinations, and do not kind of commit them again. Remember, again, very quickly, remember, okay, again, before we move any further, read every instruction again. You are given 15 minutes of test. Do not think that you know the instructions. Do not, kind of go there and relax. You need to read the instructions again. There might be a slight change, although there will not be, but please read the instructions again. Go through the dry run. Yeah, so this essentially. And again, before I start taking questions, do not use the keyboard, just to reiterate. Okay, so let me start with Payal's question. Payal says, can we attempt theta questions if we are not sure about the answer? Payal, any question that you're not sure about the answer of, please keep them for the end. And because you do not have negative marking in the theta questions, definitely you can go ahead and attempt that. There have been speculations of it affecting your percentile. Well, it would not. As far as the notification issued by CAT, it would not make any difference to your percentile. So yes, if you're not very sure of it, keep them for the end. You might end up spending a lot of time and getting nothing out of it. Therefore, do not kind of do it for every theta question. Attempt it while you have attempted all the other questions. Okay. Can we carry cash in our pockets? I would recommend that you carry a bag that you'll keep outside of the examination center and keep your cash or your wallet in that. I understand if you're going alone, if you're going by a public transport, you'll need cash, or you'll be carrying a mobile phone, which I would strongly recommend you not to. But because it's inevitable these days, yes, keep a bag with yourself, or maybe ask a friend to accompany you who will stand outside the examination center and keep it for you. Do not keep cash or do not carry it inside the examination center is what I would recommend you to do. Siddhant Raizada, I think I have answered your question by having said that. Okay, do we need to carry some document for signature proof? Yes, if you have a PAN card or something like that, although carrying that would be a safe thing to do. But as per the instructions, I don't think they've asked for it. The registration, the ID will already have your the admit card will already have your signature. Therefore, no additional signature proof needs to be carried. However, just for the sake of safety, you can carry one. Okay. Sanjay, can we carry vehicle key? Again, Sanjay, any thing, say vehicle key at times is also electronic. So a definite no inside the examination hall. Carry it till outside the hall. Place it in your bag. Keep it outside the hall. And while you come back, you can collect it. Or maybe ask a friend to accompany you. And there is where you can, keep your keys with. So carrying keys inside the hall, not a good idea. In fact, a very bad idea. Please keep them outside. And if it's electronic, a big no to keys. Okay. The next question. So this was Sanjay's question. I hope I've answered your question, Sanjay. Muhammad Aftab asks, will it reduce my percentile if I attempt the? Okay. You'll not. Okay. So there has been no communication on this front. And as per the notifications issued by the authorities, there will not be any negative marking on the answers which you input through the virtual keyboard. And therefore, feel free to attempt it, but not at the cost of wasting time. Okay, so my only advice is attempt the answers that requires your input, but do not waste time in doing so. If you're sure of it, go ahead, do it. If you're not sure of it, only for the sake of guessing, please keep it for the end. Mark it for review, come back and attempt it towards the end. Do not waste time initially on such questions is what I'm trying to tell you. Okay, Muhammad Aftab, I think I've answered the first question that you've asked. The second question is, please explain the mark systems of theta questions, sir. It's very clearly explained in the notifications given. There's no negative marking, and essentially that I could see there's some fuss on various online platforms in terms of how it will bring down your percentile. Well, there has been no such clarification given by the authorities. This is pure speculation, and I would recommend and request all of you to keep yourself away from it. Okay. Dev Jyoti has a question. Should I give blind guess? Okay. Again, I think I have already answered this question. If it's a blind guess, keep it for the end. Any guess that you're making should be reserved for the end. It should not consume any time that could have been devoted to a question where you could have got safe and sure sort marks. Therefore, you'll not want to guess at the cost of, missing out on some other question. Yeah. Darshit has a question. Can one go through some articles or other opinion passages before exam? Will it help? Good start to the VARC section. Darshit, reading is something that will definitely help you. Maybe light reading today is something that you can do, but do not stress yourself with reading things before the examination tomorrow. Okay, before I take any further questions, a very quick clarification for the slot 2 people. Please seclude yourself from the internet. Do not talk to your friends. Do not read any posts online or WhatsApp messages. Only concentrate on how you'll attempt your examination. Do not precondition yourself to believe that a certain section was tough or easy or these many questions were attempted by a top friend of yours. Please keep yourself away and aloof from any such speculations, because it will only ruin your chances of cracking the examinations. Yeah, so slot 2 students, do not go online after slot 1 is over. There will be 100 things written online, there will be 100 opinions, but you are not getting bothered or getting phased by any one of it, because slot 2 can be very vulnerable. You can be preconditioned by the best of your friends telling you that they attempted some X number of questions, or they kind of cracked some Y number of sets in DILR or other sections. So please do not talk to any such friend. Let no one tell you that it was difficult or easy or anything like that. Do not go with any preconceived notion on any section, specifically for the slot 2 students. Seclude yourself from online sources. Don't talk to people leaving the hall from slot 1. Okay, coming back to the questions. Can I go through some articles? Okay, I already answered that, Dashrit. Vasudha has a question. Sir, what should I revise right now? Vasudha, I would say nothing. Maybe you can do some light reading. Do not revise formulae. If there's something that you can very amiably revise, go ahead, do it. But I would sincerely not recommend you to cram everything or every formula at the end moment, at the last moment. All that you can do at this point is go back, maybe read some passage, some very light passage that would give you the feel of reading and comprehending at the last moment. But essentially, I would not ask you to, do a lot of things in the last moment, because it should not precondition you or make you believe that you know a certain topic well, or you do not know some other topic that well. Therefore, a lot of revision is not something that I would recommend at the end moment, but definitely some light reading can help you. Yeah. Okay. It's there on the admit card, sir? Okay. Official guidelines are there. Yes, you'll definitely carry the admit card if that's the question. Can we carry cash in pocket? Again, Mihir already answered this question. I would recommend you not to carry cash in pocket. If you're planning to carry cash, also carry a bag wherein you can lock the cash safely and keep it outside, or ask one of your friends to accompany you. If that is not possible, maybe just keep it in a bag, lock it, and keep it outside the exam center, provision of which is made by most of the exam centers. Therefore, this is a safe thing to do. Okay. What is expected difficulty level of the examination? Nobody knows, and nobody can. Only after the exam is done will you guys get to know it. But the good news is, however difficult or easy it turns out to be, it would be the same for the entire country. And therefore, you will have to mold your strategy to the paper while you look at the paper and when you look at the difficulty level, in terms of how many questions you attempt, how many sets you attempt, how many RCs you crack. All of it will be defined by the difficulty level as and when you see the paper. Okay. The next question, I have already answered this question. Okay. Sir, what should we go for attempt if we are confused between two options in, okay, this is a nice question to ask. Okay. So if you're confused between two questions, again, you have, okay, again, I'm not giving you any gyan on strategy. I would not want to. I strictly have reserved myself to not discussing any strategy. But very quickly, if you're caught between two answers in RC, look for what would have made a certain answer wrong. or try relating it with some of your wrong answer options from mocks. Why did a certain wrong answer option turn out to be wrong in your mock? Was it because the adverb was changed? Was it because the tone of one certain answer option was not as right as the others, or something like that? So you'll have triggers from your past experience which will tell you why a certain option is better as compared to the other. Again, do not take a wild guess. Keep yourself away and refrain from taking any wild guesses during the examination. Not that you'll not. If there's a calculated guess, please go ahead and make it, but do not wildly guess. Okay. Yeah. How much score do I need for? Okay. This is something that is not for me to answer. Bhavin has a question. Sir, please tell if okay, attempt or not. Okay. Bhavin, I would ask you to go ahead and attempt them, but again, do not make wild guesses at the cost of wasting your time. Attempt them only after you have done attempting the rest of the paper. After DILR, my mind is screwed up. Okay, won't be able to focus on quant section. Again, Mihir, Mohammad Aftab, I don't think you should go with any such notion. Even if your mind is screwed up, maybe just close your eyes, tap your eyes for a moment, feel fresh and start afresh with quant, or maybe go in rounds, attempt the easier questions first, which will make you attempt more questions, or which will help you maximize your attempts. If that is the case, I would ask you to sleep properly, go fresh in the examination hall, and and do not go with any such notions of how quant might not be the best of your attempts. Does making a blind guess affect scaling? Of course, a lot of blind guesses will definitely affect scaling, and more than that, more importantly, it will eat up a lot of your time, which is very, very important. It's a time game, and therefore blind guessing at the cost of not attempting a good question is not something that I would give out as an advice. Okay, how to recognize doable sets in DILR? Okay, while you look at DILR, two things that you need to do. One, skim every caselet, and while you're skimming the caselets, also remember that you'll not just look at the topics, you'll also look at point number 2, which is the questions. So is the caselet asking you direct questions, or is it grilling you on inference-based things, or things which require a lot of calculation, things which might take a lot of time or a lot of effort? So pick those caselets, one which you're comfortable with in terms of the topic, two which you feel the questions are easy. So these two factors will drive which caselet you choose first. But before you choose any caselet, make sure you skim the entire paper of DILR. Okay. Also, we will be provided extra pad for writing. Yes, you will be. If the pad is not sufficient, you will definitely be provided. But make sure if you need it, ask for it way in advance. Because some of the invigilators are really, really, I shouldn't be saying that, but they are very unnerving, and therefore it's always smart to ask for pads well in advance. Can we attempt 2 DI caselets with 100% accuracy? Yes, you can. Ideally, a score of 16 and 17 has also made people touch a 99 in DILR for the past 2 years. Therefore, but who guarantees 100% accuracy? Therefore, I wouldn't recommend that you should attempt only 2 caselets. Go for at least 4 and keep your accuracy high. Again, numbers are something that will be decided by the difficulty level of the paper, and not purely something that you can decide now. Okay, what about easy questions in quant? I'm struggling a lot with quant. Okay, Bhavin, easy questions in quant are the ones which will be solved instantly by putting in some formulae or by doing maybe 1 or 2 lines of calculation. So please, while skimming the paper, do these questions right when you read them. So this would ensure that you have that particular score in your pocket instantly. Okay. Again, do not. CAT is going to be a lot easier compared to the mocks that you've taken. You're all prepared for it. You've all been warriors. You've all learned to stick through thick and thin. You've taken so many mocks. You've done a lot of prep, a lot of toil, and this is not the moment where you should feel anything in terms of attempting lesser questions or feeling any low of yourself. So go with full confidence in the examination center. I have another 2 minutes, after which I will wind up this session, another 3 minutes. Any questions that you guys have, keep sending forth during this while, and we'll answer that. Okay, thank you for your advice. English really worked for me. Ashi, thank you so much. That I hope it works out tomorrow and you do really well. Best of luck, guys. I am very glad that you guys are going to finally take the litmus test tomorrow and fly out with come out with flying colors. CAT is not a life-defining moment. It's just an exam. It has prepared you enough to take so many other examinations, and so many more will follow after CAT. So essentially, go with full positive mind, sleep well, carry all your documents which are required in terms of your iCard and your registration, CAT registration, this thing, card. Look for your seat number. That's the first thing that you're doing. Do not talk to people around, outside or inside the examination hall. Don't wear shoes. Do not use the keyboard. Stick to your core strategy, but be flexible with your peripheral strategy. Slot 2 students, seclude yourself from online media. Do not figure out whether the paper was difficult or easy. Go with a blank mind. Look for trigger words in the RCs. Go in rounds. Skim the entire paper before you attempt it. And yes, reach the examination center 1 hour in advance. 3 things that you definitely need to carry: your admit card, your ID proof, and a lot of confidence. With this, I would like to look if we have any other questions. Thank you so much, everyone. Yeah, okay. Particular timing for each passage? No. You do not need to restrict yourself, Soumya. I'm struggling with my... Okay, again, forget the past. Past is dead. Forget your scores or your performance in mocks. Go start a fresh. CAT is going to be a lot different in terms of difficulty level. Quant and VRC will typically be easier from your mocks, and DILR has traditionally been a little difficult and more logical than your mocks. So go again. Best of luck, guys. Do well, and yeah, take good amount of sleep. Go with a lot of confidence. Don't overstress. Don't compare. Don't look around. Lots of love and lots of luck. Thank you. Thank you so much, guys. All the best.